Hi everyone, it's Roberta at the Animal Welfare Society, and I'm talking to you today for our Ask the Trainer about puppy biting and nipping. Now we've probably gone over this maybe in one of our past videos. I can't truthfully remember, but it's a very common question and people are always getting new puppies, and so I thought I'd go over some of it again because it can be very hard and frustrating. You have this adorable, cute little puppy at home, and sometimes you feel like you can't get next to them because they're just like little sharks or piranhas constantly after your hands or your pants or something. So let's talk a little bit about that. First of all, it's natural and normal for your puppy, all puppies, to use their mouths and do some puppy biting and nipping on you because they are exploring the world for the first time, and they don't have hands and fingers like we do, so they use their mouth a lot, and so it's inevitable at some point that all puppy owners are going to experience some sharp little puppy teeth on their sensitive skin, and it's going to hurt, especially since their puppy teeth are very sharp. And sometimes this could be due to a few things. Again, just normal puppy behavior. Sometimes they get bored, there's nothing for them to chew on. Maybe they get frustrated, and that's how puppies and dogs kind of express their frustration, is with their mouth. They may be getting a little over aroused, too much stimulation, and get a little rough. And again, this can be very frustrating, but they will grow out of it to some extent. But I'm going to give you some tips while you wait for them to mature a little bit and grow out of this phase, to kind of try and keep your skin and your clothes and everything safe. So my first suggestion would be to have a lot of appropriate options for your puppy to practice their chewing on and for redirection. This means toys, lots of toys, different types of toys with different textures, soft toys or chewy toys. You can experiment and give your puppy a variety of things that they can use, that they are allowed to put in their mouth and chew on. That will help keep them entertained, combat boredom, allow them to also use their natural behavior of chewing and biting on something more appropriate. Sometimes I suggest, if you have a lot of toys, to even put them into some kind of rotation. So you have 5 toys out, one a day, and maybe save and then rotate to put those away, take out some more toys. That will also help keep your puppies interested and engaged. And give your puppy a lot of praise too. If you do see them, just choose to go get a toy and play with that, opposed to coming over to you and chewing on you. Tell them how good they are. That was a good decision they made. Because a lot of times we tend just to react when they're doing something wrong. So we want to give them some feedback when they're doing something right that we like. Management is very, very big for young dogs, all young dogs, for anything, so that we're kind of preventing the problem before it begins, and dealing with it that way. Because, just like with human children or toddlers, we put out precautions while they're still learning their boundaries and what's right and wrong, and because they're still putting stuff in their mouth all the time, so we're going to keep all the dangerous stuff away from them. You don't just bank on telling your child, no, don't touch that, sharp object and put it in your mouth, and then expect them to know from then on that that's out of bounds. We tell them no, and we're going to put it away. We're going to either lock the cabinet, we're going to put that dangerous item away from them, put a baby gate up or something like that, because they're still young and it's going to take time, for them to catch on to that. So we're going to do the same kind of thing for puppies, because it's not fair to expect them to always just know not to chew on something. They're just being themselves. So keep all your items that you don't want your puppy to chew on out of reach. So if he gets overexcited, that includes you too. So if your puppy's getting overexcited, just won't nipping at you, just remove yourself from their area. If you're using baby gates or something like that, you can just walk over and leave Show your puppy that, I'm just not going to play with you if you're going to be, rough like that and hurting me. That's not how I want to play. So I'm just simply going to remove myself, and your puppy hopefully will be like, realize the fun has stopped. And then when they've calmed down, you can come back and play with your puppy some more when he's calmed down. And you can also use, a toy to try and redirect so that your puppy is actually going to chew on the toy and not you. But again, if they're just really insistent and they're in that mode where they're just going to get all over you, you can just remove yourself and give him a chance to cool down a little bit. And that's my dog Annabelle, who we're going to use in a few minutes. Baby, you're okay. In our demonstration portion of this video. Good girl. All right, so let me see what else I have on my list. So children too, I would, because they are like fun, fast-moving little targets for your puppies. So try and make sure that you manage their time with the puppy. So if your puppies, make sure your puppies had some good exercise, and maybe, you've done some playing with them first, and then you can bring your kids in and they can spend some time with the puppy. And you can also instruct your kids to have more appropriate games. Instead of just wrestling or touching the puppy, they can maybe play fetch or do some like training, something like that. But make sure your puppy is calm before he gets to interact with the children, so he knows that's what he needs to be in a state of mind before he gets to play with them. And it's okay if your puppy, again, is biting and won't settle down. You do use a crate, and you can, once you've crate trained them to enjoy their crate, you can use that as a nice timeout. So it's not going to be a punishment, more as, we need to take, everyone's going to settle down. You're going to get a nice, you could use a Kong toy and stuff it with something appropriate, or a nice chewy toy. I like to use, maybe a bully stick or something like that. And give it to them, and let's give them a chance to kind of like settle themselves down. And practicing this bad behavior of biting you, that you, give them an alternate to do. And direct their energy towards something else. And it's okay to do this a few times a day. Puppies, again, like children, sometimes don't know how to settle themselves on their own and kind of gauge that. Like, okay, I'm getting overstimulated. I'd like to settle down and do something quiet right now. They don't think like that. So we're going to help them as their leader and adult and everything like that. Kind of help them settle. So another suggestion I have for you is to teach your puppy to, when they do interact with you and play, to have more appropriate activities than just biting and wrestling. So you can use, I know we've talked about this in the past, if your puppy knows how to sit or lay down, or we have a game of Find It where you kind of toss some treats on the ground for them to find. So this is a lot more appropriate things you can do to interact with them. And because when they're doing that, they're not jumping and biting and doing stuff like that. Fetch or playing with a toy is good. If your puppy really is insistent, again, I just would not do a lot of puppy wrestling, because they just don't, it's not fair. Again, we're not, as much as we try, we're not dogs, and we can't communicate exactly as well as dogs can. So if they're starting to play rough or anything like that, they just don't know. Let's see, and you can also do some socialization activities like we did a couple weeks ago and Ask the Trainer. You can bring out some fun obstacles for your puppy to explore, and you can guide them through and make a little puppy obstacle course if you want. Just different things you can do that with your puppy. Also, avoid yelling or punishing your puppy for biting, because this may inadvertently teach your puppy to fear or even aggress back. Some puppies will, creating a much larger behavioral problem down the line. So we don't want to really punish them, because again, it's natural for them to do, and they're still learning. sometimes when they get frustrated and they don't understand what we're trying, the rules of the human world they live in, they don't know it's bad to jump on counters or grab your socks or, steal your food. So to them, you're taking their fun away, and they may use their mouths to show us how upset they are. So I would just try not to even be in that situation. So cut down on their puppy's frustration by having to tell them no all the time, by doing proactive management so you don't have to tell them no. You're setting it up so they're doing only the good things that you would like them to do. Ask yourself, how can I set up my environment so that I can interact with my puppy and he won't be, inclined or tempted to bite me, rather than how do I make him stop biting me? So a lot of times just rephrasing that question in your mind can help a lot. What would I like to encourage my puppy to do that I would like to see him do, instead of what don't I want? Because they don't necessarily understand no as much as, oh, how about we do this? This is what we like to do. And where true puppy aggression is very, is rare, it can happen. And if you think that's going on, definitely contact us and we can talk about that more as a private consult or something like that. You can email us at training@animalwelfaresociety.org. And I hope that might have helped you guys a little bit. Stay strong and patient. This will pass eventually, but you do want to kind of get through as happy as you can through that puppy stage. So I am going to now, baby, I know there's people walking by the window. We are going to Annabelle and I get ready to show you a couple more holiday or just in general tricks that you can do for the holidays with your dog for pictures or just to show off their skills. All right, I'll be right back. Hi everybody, I am back here with my dog Annabelle, and we're going to show you a couple fun tricks you can do for the holidays and just to have fun with your dog, maybe even get a really great photo. And I'm going to try and keep it short because I think I ran kind of long in my talking portion of this Ask the Trainer. First, we're going to start with a spin, which is going to be having your dog spin all the way around and come back to the beginning and get a treat. And just make sure your dog is comfortable with you reaching around and over them, because that's how we're going to start teaching them, with a lure and a treat. If they're a little uncomfortable, you can start by just going halfway. So I could go just halfway around that way. You're going to do it while you're sitting, baby? Here, stand up for a minute. And when she gets comfortable going, me reaching around her that way, I can go all the way around. And try and keep their treat close to the nose all the way around and go kind of slow, because if you go too fast, they'll be like, where'd the treat go? And maybe spin around out of the spin. So we're going to try a whole one. And if you have a large dog, you're probably going to have to do some reaching over. So I'm going to start, spin, and we're going to go all the way around and end with a sit, because I don't want to make her go around too many times at once because she'll get dizzy. The other thing we're going to go over is just maybe take a cute photo with your dog in a wrapped box ready for Santa, or you, I guess. So all I did is I have a cardboard box that I wrapped in some wrapping paper. I cut out the back so that it'll be a little more conducive to her wanting to get in it. And I put a nice little soft towel in there. And first, just get your dog used to wanting to go near this object. Lots of fun. You can put treats everywhere. So they just, the first step is getting them used to coming in here and not being afraid or something like that. So they can come in, get a treat, leave, and just have some fun. The next step, if your dog already knows sit and stay, it's going to be easy for you to just kind of turn this into a great little photo shoot. So I'm going to have it out here, and we're going to lead them in here. Good girl. Sit. I can ask her to stay, and we can take a nice, fun little photo.
Good girl. When we get really good at it, they might just be able to go right in the box. They get lots of treats when they're there, and they have a good time, and it's super fun. Good job. And thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week when Dana comes back for our next Ask the Trainer. Thank you.